How's it going, guys? Cody, guys, back again, dropping out another video. Right, guys, as you can see from the title of the video and the video at the start, this is a story coming out about Birmingham prison. The headline reads, "Shocking moment, prisoners are out of control. HMP Birmingham beat fellow inmate and call him a snitch in a brutal attack that left him with a broken nose and 2 black eyes." It's bullying this at the highest order, guys, but the thing is, a snitch on the outside or a snitch in prison, you're going to get filled in. So it says here, mobile phone footage shows Mohammed Wakas being attacked in his own cell. He was left with a broken nose and 2 black eyes and after being accused of being a snitch. The 24-year-old was forced to call himself a pussy before he was slapped and punched. Shocking mobile phone footage show a prisoner being attacked in his own cell by a gang of fellow inmates at scandal-hit HMP Birmingham. Mohammed Wakas, 24, was left with a broken nose and 2 black eyes in 2 separate assaults over the weekend after being accused of being a snitch. Disturbing footage, you can see at the start, guys, shows the humiliated victim being made to call himself a pussy and says, "Pete, you're the man," before being repeatedly slapped and punched. The video comes just a day after the government announced it was taking over the running of the G4S jail after inspectors said it had fallen into a state of crisis. Crisis is beyond fucking words. Mohammed's partner, Alicia Ali from Alum Rock, Birmingham, said, "My partner was assaulted by 6 inmates on 2 separate occasions." Just let me carry on. Hold on. Where are we? Right, they recorded the incident on a phone and within 15 minutes of the assault, the video went all over the internet. We are trying to contact the prison and the police several times because it is really unsafe. He's had his nose broken and 2 black eyes. It's left him in a really dangerous condition. It's really difficult for us to speak to prison authorities. Mohammed's uncle, Mustaq Hussain, a retired garage owner from Alum Rock, said, "My nephew was beaten in his cell twice. They're not looking after his welfare. We have contacted the Home Secretary and our MP about this. What hurts the most is they say they don't know what has happened. He's had his nose broken, yet they have done nothing. We are very concerned about my nephew's welfare and we've asked if we can talk to him, but they said we can't. There is drugs inside, there are mobiles inside, and there are gangs attacking other prisoners, and my nephew could have been killed. I want to speak to the governor. My nephew should be in hospital and his welfare needed to be looked after. Everyone's responsible needs to go. The security needs to be upgraded. We wanted to visit him immediately and they said we couldn't. We're going to arrange a massive demonstration outside the prison. This prison has a problem with gangs. If they allow it, these people will take videos and post them on the internet. Mohammed is the father of a young child and he has a young wife. He has not even yet been charged. He's in prison on an allegation of assault. He's on remand." One sec, guys, just screening past all these bloody pictures. The public are at risk. Hold on, this is it. The attacker says, "I'm a pussy. What are you? A snitch, bro. You're a snitch." Dozens of dangerous criminals are to be released in the next 3 months after staff fail to deal with high-risk criminals. This is a story within a story. The public are at risk from around 50 dangerous criminals to be released from a crisis hit HMP Birmingham in the next 3 months, inspectors have warned. The report said that between August and November, the criminals assessed as posing a high risk of harm would walk free at the end of their sentences. But inspectors said they were greatly concerned about what would happen when they were released. They wrote, "Birmingham held and frequently released men who were assessed as posing a high risk of harm to others. Between August and November this year, 50 high-risk men are due to be released, and we were greatly concerned that measures to protect the public from these men whilst in prison and on release were very poor." The report also said that risk assessments for inmates were not up to date and criticised staff for failing to deal with high-risk criminals. Sex offenders were also unable to access rehabilitation courses. No amount of rehabilitation courses would work for a fucking nonce anyway, or a pedo, or a fucking rapist. Mohammed replied, "Get your hands off me," before being slapped and punched in the head as he was made to recite, "I'm a pussy." In the other video, a frightened-looking Mohammed can be seen. "Pete, you're the man. I'm sorry, I'll come out of here like a changed man." His attacker says, "And what else?" before punching him in the head. Mohammed says, again, "You're the man, Pete." The subtitle caption on the video reads, "Don't try and get a man's address because we'll wrap you up rapid." Earlier this week, Ministry of Justice seized control of Birmingham Prison from G4S After a damning report from Peter Clark, the Chief Inspector of Prisons, it read, on average, almost a quarter said they felt unsafe at the time of inspection. This figure was as high as 37% in Birmingham and Wormwood Scrubs. Some prisons have begun to take appropriate strategic action, but even when violence remained high and more sustained action were required. Prisons Minister Rory Stewart raised fears about the scope of chaos in the system, saying as many as 20 other prisons are struggling with similar issues, with drugs being the big driver. Mr. Clark suggested ministers had been asleep at the wheel. He said, how is it that in the 18 months of prison, which is supposedly being run under the auspices of a tightly managed contract, has now been allowed to deteriorate? He said, there are Ministry of Justice officials on site permanently, and yet somehow there seems to have been some sort of institutional area where this has allowed the prison to deteriorate to this completely unacceptable state. Asked whether the Ministry of Justice have failed, Mr. Clark told BBC Radio's 4 programme, I think it's the only reasonable conclusion you can come to. So that's that, guys. Snitching in prison, obviously, the prisoners don't attack you for no reason. Well, they can attack you for no reason, to be honest with you, but they're saying it was a snitch. And like I say, even if you've been hinted that you're a snitch, right, you get prisoners that will say, oh, he's a snitch, him. And people just go in and fill him in because that's the way it goes. I don't care what race or creed you are, religion you are. Bullying in prison, I don't like it, to be honest. I don't like bullies, but 6 prisoners attacking him. It's prison justice, guys. It's the way that prison works. If you are a grass or even rumoured to be a grass, your safety is at fucking serious harm. And like I say, in prison, you can't walk away. You're in the cell, they follow you and they'll hunt you and they'll get you. And that's what we've seen here. Like I said, prisons are prisons, man. It's not just Birmingham, it's all prisons that this goes on at. Violence is commonplace in prisons up and down the country. And it happens for many different reasons. Debt, mental health, you know what I mean? Fucking rivals, gangs, postcode gangs, debt, do you know what I mean? Grassing, snitching, whatever you want to call it. There's so many different reasons violence goes on. And like I say, it's going to continue to go on, and it's prison justice. And that's prisoners in prison. Prisoners are the judge, the jury, and the executioner. And it just goes on that way. Anyway, guys, going to leave it here. Like, comment, subscribe. Going to leave in the link in the description even. Cody out.